Greetings, Elder BlackLight. These are two very clever brothers changing the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so they can get some of that Arab money, some of that Middle Eastern money, see. But these brothers are clever now. But the believers of the Nation of Islam they actually didn't understand, a lot of them didn't understand the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad given to him by Master Farrakhan Muhammad. They had a surface teaching of it, and the only thing they stuck with was the white man is the devil, and they could call him the devil and talk about him, you know. And the only thing they liked was when the ministers talked about the white man, when they roasted the white man, they felt good. Then you could throw some psychological methods and teaching them in there, and they might understand. But you had to give them that dose of roasting the white man. That made a lot of brothers feel good, a lot of sisters feel good. But they never went to the psychology of themselves and the science of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. See? So these brothers, you know, Wharf Dean, Elijah's son, he never did like his old man. Every time you hear Farrakhan teach Savior's Day meeting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, over everybody's voice you hear Farrakhan. You know, he the loudest. You know. Now, don't forget, I was born into, while I was in my mother's stomach, I was going to meetings. My uncle and my mother and my aunt and my grandmother knew Malcolm. To this day, I got cousins that still associate with Malcolm's kinfolks, Malcolm's family. To this day. My mother took me out when she took me out of she quit the nation when I was around 7 years old. And then after that, my uncle would babysit me, and he would teach me, show me books. He had books from all over the planet down in his basement until a flood came and flooded out a lot of them. And he still has some left after the flood. But up until the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that's when my uncle became dissatisfied, and he told me the reason why. I wasn't in the temple or in the mosque then, but after the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Wharf Dean took over, the brothers here in Detroit started merging in with brothers over in Canada, with the Arab Muslims over in Canada. Yeah, that's right. And they set up over on Finkel. They set up, the Arab Muslims set up an international, I don't forgot the name of it, what they called it. But the brothers from uh, Temple Number 1, they changed their name and they would mingle with the Canadian International Muslim Movement over there in Canada. They brought it over here on Finkel in Detroit. So y'all know I know what I'm talking about. All y'all old Muslims, y'all know I know what I'm talking about. And my uncle went to some of those international Muslim conferences. And my first cousin, I'm about maybe 7 or 8 years older than him, he went with my uncle over there to those international conference meetings. We was beginning to integrate with the foreign-born Muslims, Arab Muslims, or Middle Eastern Muslims then. But when Wallace sold off all the holdings of the Nation of Islam, my uncle, matter of fact, Wallace sold all the school buses, all the grocery stores, all the farms, everything. Liquidated all that stuff. And so my uncle they put up a lawsuit, at the Mosque Number 1 on Linwood. So I know what I'm talking about. So now, that's when they split up. The nation split up. A lot of them went with Wharf Dean into the Orthodox style of Islam. And a lot of them kept teaching in their basements and stuff like that, But this Farrakhan, he went with Wharf Dean Muhammad. So that showed you where his heart was at right there. He was the national representative. So you the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but you're going to go with Wharf Dean. Now, Mr. Farrakhan says that his conscience was bothering him and he couldn't take it no more, so he started up he went and started up the Nation of Islam. He put it like this: this was supposed to be the resurrection of the Nation of Islam. But now, it was a few remnants of the old Nation of Islam trying to do something. And they were still teaching, but, they don't have that fiery style that the Mr. Farrakhan had. So, but when Wharf Dean and Minister Louis Farrakhan fell out, he said it was because his conscience was bothering him. But it probably wasn't that. It probably was that, it probably was about some money. And somebody probably whispered into Minister Farrakhan's ear, man, you could get some money if You know, you more fiery than these brothers, you know, that's left. So probably can get some, you know, bring it back, man, and get more money doing it like this. Because when Wallace D and Mr. Farrakhan split, Mr. Farrakhan went back to his old self before he was in the Nation of Islam, smoking weed, got fat like he is now, you know. A brother showed me his picture, you know. A minister here showed me his picture when he was fat. And when he came back, you know, to uh, resurrect the nation, because he real fiery. The brother clever and real fiery. And that's what got the resurrection. In the meantime, y'all brothers who didn't follow Minister Louis Farrakhan, y'all going off the old reputation of the Nation of Islam, trying to do it like that. And y'all still doing off the old reputation. And everything that was sold, all the vast holdings that the Nation of Islam had was sold. Y'all didn't try to get them back or nothing. But Farrakhan did. But Farrakhan, he mingling with everybody. He talking to Jesse Jackson. He talking to the Jews. Talking to some foreign-born Muslims. You know, getting money. You know. This is to be continued. BlackLight.